Deutsche Tourenwagen Masters. God damn it, I nailed it. Or DTM built some of the greatest cars ever imagined. And I think I found one that has gone under the radar, dare I say it. I'm AlexMartini, by the way. I talk about cars and we build some on the channel too. So if you like what you see, maybe subscribe, okay? So we can keep doing videos like this. And if you have a racing story or car that you don't think I know about, drop it below. Because if I don't know the car, I'm about to go become fixated on it. Like I just lost all the ADHD energy I could possibly have. Now, speaking of which, if at any point this is making you want to build a Fox body Mustang, because that's gonna be the first car I talk about, I'd recommend getting your Mustang parts over at CJPonyParts.com. They recently did a huge redesign on their site, making it easier for pony car enthusiasts to find car parts to repair, rebuild, and modify their cars. Now, why did I yell Deutsche Tourenwagen Masters at the beginning, Alex? That's a great question, because during the heyday of DTM racing of the 80s and 90s, the montages of cars that are filled over on Tic Tac were M3s, 190Es, and everything besides a domestic muscle car. Until I found a little random Ford Mustang that entered the fray. This is actually a pretty cool story. I found it over on Jalopnik, someone by the name of Raphael Orlov. This car was in a German magazine. This guy had built a Fox body DTM Mustang. Without this magazine though that this random person on Jalopnik found, I'm pretty sure this car would have never been found, period, because it's nowhere to be seen. The car was built by a team led by a man named Gerd Roosh. Typically Fox bodies are dummy loud and slow, and they used to be like $14 to buy, so turning one into a DTM car wasn't necessarily the most popular, especially overseas. It was kind of weird. It was cladded in a minimal red SO livery and a Decra car number stuck to the side. And what I found absolutely hilarious and quite American of Gerd was that in the racing series that they were in, most of the cars sat around 330 horsepower. Cars like the M3 with a 2.5 liter, or even 420 horsepower from the 3.6 liter Audi. But the DTM Mustang had 530 horsepower from its V8 pushrod engine, and it was badass! Made me to start looking at Fox bodies, which made me upset because my marketplace is already like a drug and I just can't quit. And now I was looking at Fox body parts over on CJPonyParts because everything is so affordable. I need to get a domestic car. It would just make me feel better. It's kind of like a 401k. Now, I sometimes forget that domestic car parts are so much cheaper than cars I typically modify. And I heard that CJPonyParts did a whole new rebranding and wanted to take a peek at it to play around. And honestly, just saying it, it's kind of pretty good. Now this one I would put CJPonyParts in a tricky place to support, because if I wanted to build a DTM car, it'd be tough, but they do have 40 years of experience, so maybe they know something I don't. But there was a third generation Ford Mustang car that looked anything but a third generation Mustang, and this one was known as a GTX. If you like old racing, like 70s and 80s, there are hero stories. McLaren in their MP4-4, Peugeot fighting Porsche, Audi in their Quattro with Michel Mouton, but not quite as often are people talking about the Ford Mustang GTX. Now this class is dead and gone, but it once had cars that were factory-backed prototypes and within the classes of the IMSA GT Championship. Now the result of this car was a 105-inch wheelbase and a front mid-engine design and a turbocharged 4-cylinder that came from their half-brother Cosworth BDA. The result of this car racing though was badass. Tim Kokonis and Klaus Lundwing won the race with 2 laps to spare. And if you guys know how big Road America is, it's 4.048 miles. A lead time like that is absolutely ridiculous. Now, my favorite cars to learn about are ones you just like never look up, but would stop you dead if you were at a Cars and Coffee in the morning. Maybe you're just trying to wake up. But Ford has one of those histories that if you look anywhere past just the base street models, you'll find some insane stories with some incredible drivers. And a lot of those stories were only possible by wild aftermarket suppliers like Roush, Edelbrock, Paxton, Weld, Mickey Thompson. And the crazy thing, they're still doing it, and they're doing it affordably because CJPonyParts has been selling those parts since 1985. Now, I'm not sure they'll convince me to buy or become a Mustang only guy, but it's pretty clear to me that they know their market more than anyone else I've been around. So even if you're not building an IMSA car or a DTM car, which by the way, that car didn't even do really well, but that's besides the point, here you are. CJPonyParts is the home for you to find muscle car parts to rebuild, repair, and modify nearly every single part on your pony car. So I'm AlexMartini. Let me know what car you think I should know about next. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.